Day two of work. We have begun. Can't really see it too well, but book 2. Here it is. Not the whole book, obviously. It's not even the first chapter. But we are starting the second book. The first book I'm going to call... So this is part of the Forgotten series, is what I'm thinking in my head. And so each book is... I don't want to say necessarily, but it kind of is themed to its title. So the first book I'm going to call The Forgotten Sacrifice. Maybe. This is still, like, I don't know. This one's working title is The Forgotten Revelation. So far. Now, first draft, I'm about 9 pages in. About 9. And how do I feel about it? Well, you know, it's whenever I'm working, there's this fight that I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Come on, let's go away. Let's go. And I'm trying to like power through it. I'm like, and then like it keeps saying like, you know, and I'm typing. Come on, let's just go. Like, let's not dive into this too much. Let's just get out of here. Come on. And I'm like, shut up. I'm trying to work. And it just does that. And it just, I keep fighting this. I keep fighting it. I don't know why, but it's like every fucking time, I would say like out of 10 times I write, maybe it's not every time, it's probably like 7. It doesn't want me to do this. Something's like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And it's not like a little, it says it a couple times so then it goes away. Like, no. It says it the entire time. I could be writing for 3 hours and it's like all 3 hours just come on, let's go. And it pisses me the fuck off. And I sometimes get mad. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm trying to do this. It's a weird thing. I can't explain it, but that's just what it is. It's just, I don't want to do this. There's something in me. I want to do this. Let me reframe it because it might sound wrong. I do want to write. I want to write, motherfucker. Like, I want to do this. But there's a part of me that doesn't. And that part that doesn't really fucking doesn't. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a natural reaction. It's like, dude, you gotta stop. You're soul capturing yourself, or, you know, something weird. I don't know. Or is it telling me like what would be defending itself? What part of me would be like, yeah, I don't wanna do this. Why? You're just sitting down and putting words on a piece of paper. That's how you know there's more to it, right? That the fact that your body's like, you gotta stop, this is not good. Something in you is actively telling you to quit doing it. Well, what the fuck is that? How normal is that? I can't, like, it's not like I'm like, yeah, like every writer I've ever talked to, all the 1,000, say the same thing. I have no idea if this is normal or not. This might be like maddening. This might be no one knows what I'm talking about. I have no idea, fucking idea. But that's what I deal with, I guess. It's just kind of the part. When I wrote book 1, I had that feeling too, throughout it. So the whole fucking process, you know. It's been rough, because it's like, you know, I have this job that I have to go do, but then I have this that I gotta come home and do, right? The job at work is, can be physically taxing. It's like 8 hours of being on your feet, moving around, lifting shit, and stacking shit, and just doing all that dumb shit all day. Just 8 hours of, I don't get much time to relax, right? Keeps me the weight I am. Now, I come home, and then this is like mentally taxing, because I'm just sitting, you know, and it's like, okay, we're sitting down, we're right in front of a typewriter or a computer or pen and paper, depending on what I'm doing. Let's go. And my body, my brain's like, dude, we just got done, you know, working. We're tired. And I'm like, no, I know, that's cute. but we also have to get this done. We can't fuck around all the time. And so I battle this, like, the work that I want to do, which is this book, and the work that I give a fuck about. Like, I care so much about this book. So fucking much. I care so little about my real job. And my body's probably just so confused. Like, dude, why are we doing this then? Like, because I have to have money, you know, like... You know, what else am I going to do? I can't do anything else. I make the money that I've been a very... The shitty thing about that job is I fucking don't like doing it. I get no satisfaction from it, and I'm fucking tired of driving there and dealing with it. I just hate the whole damn process. What's the good thing? In 1 week, I make my rent. And in the next week, all my other bills... Probably not even a full paycheck for all my other bills, like, you know, car insurance and the electric bill and the fucking phone and, you know, that shit. And then I have 2 other paychecks that I don't have to do shit with. I can just, like, well, we can buy whatever we want, you know. That's the benefit of it. It's like I don't even work a full 40 half the time. I only work like 35 to 38 because I like to leave early a lot. So there's like that benefit. Like, my boss doesn't care that I do that. Just like take off like 2 hours before my shift ends. I'm like, I'm out. And I was like, leave. Like, there's too many benefits to it. You know, or sampling, if you know what I mean. Products and stuff. Like, there's a lot of benefits, and I'm just like, I don't know. If I go somewhere else, then no one's gonna let me get away with the shit I get away with, or no one's gonna, you know, it's just like a whole thing. So that's why, like, I gotta keep collecting this money. And I keep shoving it away and shoving it away, so I have all this money to use in case I want to take that gamble and go for the full writing. Or whatever it is, I have a backup of money. That's the shitty part and the good parts. It's like, it is what it is. And I like to think, in my mind, I tell myself, how do I get through that? I'm like, well, you get to people watch. You work in a grocery store. You can just people watch. You can like discern why they are the way they are. You can watch the way they behave. You can get a sense of reality because of how they are. Like, for instance, the biggest one is like, why can't people, when they drive on the roads, they can barely handle that, I know, but when they all agree, there's lanes, and then you go on this side and you go on that side, and then when it comes to lights, we do this, and if there's a major road going through and you're a side road, you need to wait for all the traffic before you pull out, right? Just things that are simple. They can barely handle it, but it is simple. Why don't we just translate that to a grocery store? It's the same fucking concept. Get in your fucking lane. Don't just pull out in front of people. Don't just sit, like, can you imagine like driving down a road, someone stops their car, gets out and just goes, like in the middle of a, like, no, get the fuck over if you're gonna get out. Like, do that in a grocery store. Not hard. I said to someone once, the thing that's interesting about grocery stores is no one thinks they're being watched. Like, you get to see the real people. It's interesting. Like, when you go to a get-together, people are putting on a show. When you go to like a party or something. When you go to, I don't know, some other event, people are becoming that event, like a sporting event or something. They are kind of being watched, but they also are participating in some grand thing, right? When you watch people on any avenue of life, they're putting on a show or taking part of something. I think the grocery store is the one place that they're just like, they don't realize how hard they're being watched by me. Not like in a creep way, but just like studying. Like, who are you? What kind of person are you? I watch everybody. How you're buying and the way you participate in that function. The things you might be saying you don't think anyone can hear. I can hear you in the next aisle. You know what I mean? I am paying attention. All this kind of stuff I've been gathering about people when they don't think they're being watched. And not a lot of it's good. I'll be frank. Here's just a couple examples to really paint the picture for you. How lazy people are when it comes to, they like pick up a product, walk like, 10 feet and go, I don't want it. And just keep going and put it where it doesn't belong. Something that small. That right there says a lot about you as a human being, I think. Or they take their dirty, nasty samples, done eating, anyway, and set it up. I found moldy, rotten food that's supposed to have been frozen, stuffed in the back of shelves, you know, or I found nasty things on the floor and stuff like this. The reality of who people are, I get to see on a little stage. You can tell it's kind of warped my perception, but that's what it is. I have to shit. Let's see if I can remember when I come back what we were talking about. Welcome back. What were you talking about? Did you remember after you got done shitting? Yes. Yeah. So? What was I talking about? Oh, I don't know. Doesn't matter. We, ourselves, are on our adventure. What the fuck was I talking about? Why don't you go back? I can't. There's no going back. Let's wrap it back. Let's go home. Book 2. Been enjoyable. You know what I was talking about? I bet it was something about work. Yeah, that's right. I people watch. And I gave all those examples of, just a few examples I should say, just to kind of get you in the idea of how much you're being watched by certain people when you don't realize it. It's interesting to watch people in the waiting room of a ER. I don't know how often you've been to an ER, but when you're in the waiting room there, it's interesting to see what people are going through and stuff. What that kind of does is it allows you to form your own thing about what's happening to them, right? Because you can't go, excuse me, what's going on? You know, like, you can't do that with people. So you kind of form your own thing about them and watch them suffer. You know what they say, like, about animals and stuff, like the difference between a dog and a cat. Like, cats hide their pain and shit for whatever reason. They don't show it. So it's hard to tell when a cat's sick or injured. They don't want to show it. They'll just sit there quietly. Some people are like that. Some people cry out loud. I don't know who I am. I try to keep it to myself guy, but also at the same time, I don't want to deal with it. So it might be a little, I don't know. Never really paid attention. I should, shouldn't I? But yeah, it's just people watching is the only thing about that job that, like, that's the only kind of benefit besides like those other little ones I named. It kind of gives me fuel, you know what I mean? That'll fuel. I just need to get to the point where I can do it part-time. You know what I mean? I think I could manage it. Just go down to part-time and yeah, I might be able to manage that, you know, but it would just be like getting them to give me the hours consistently. Like, just give me 28 hours a week. Just please, you know, like, I don't know if I can get them to do that. I have to really talk to them and stuff. Because, you know, modern day, it's like part-time. One week you might get 6 hours. The next week you might get 28. And then you might go down to 15. Like, it's just everywhere. You can't count on it. The modern era, if you don't get full-time, you're fucked. You know, because these companies are trying to Jew their way out of, like, not paying people insurance. Well, their average is going up to almost 30. We're going to lock them. You can't put any more hours into these people or else you get in trouble because we don't want to pay them insurance. You know, like things like that. And then these people are like, dude, I've been working here for years. Like, don't I deserve it? Like, no, you don't. You're nothing. I don't want to give you money. I want to keep the money. Like that. That's what they have to deal with. And, oh, wow. Surprise, surprise, they leave. Fucking fags. I hate companies, I really do. I have a disdain for it. And that's another thing it's taught me. I have a big hatred of corporations and entities and shit like that. When if I find out someone's stealing from a corporation or entity, I'm like, good, I'm glad you are, because they're not even a person. They're only a person when it matters, huh? When you're stealing from them. Now we're mad you're stealing from us, so when it doesn't matter, or it should matter, Well, you can't prove you got hurt in our premises. You know, like stupid shit. Like, okay, fuck you too. Go ahead and steal. I don't care. It doesn't affect me none. You can do whatever you want. Because what they'll do is they'll train you like how to spot. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. They can if they need it, then they can have it. They don't rat on me. I don't rat on them. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep it there. I think it's like it's really taught me a lot of how to just. I have no respect for company at all because I know what they're doing. I know how little they care. I know that it's a lot of moving consciousness inside of it, like individual people and stuff and their own little ideas and concepts and stuff. And there's like the committee or whatever they call them, and the people that like think that they have the sway of here's what the culture should be of our company. Stupid shit. It's all made up. It's just made up. It's like when you pay a bill to your city, like your there's certain bills that you got to write to, like the village if I lived in Clinton because it's so small, or like the city. It's like, who's the city? Who is that? Why do they get money? Like it's just weird little things like that. Just it's odd. It's very odd. Like we've kind of created these weird entities and they become like godlike structures and we put things into it. Remember that video I told you about the moving constructs of God? We're doing that now with corporate entities. It's creepy. It's yucky. Fucking hate it. That shit I learned by just working in a grocery store. The reality of how people are, how weird holidays are. Holidays just are fucking odd. Everyone's always stressed out. Always stressed out buying shit. Don't do it. Well, I have to. Well, then don't be stressed out. And then weird corporate shit. Just like all that stuff has really affected the way I look at the world and like how I perceive it. Because you kind of like back in school, I just kind of would watch and just like, okay. Or like watching dynamics of relationships. Two people that are clearly married, but they always talk every morning. They're very flirty and stuff. Just watching that. I know they're married to other people. And I'm just like, interesting. Or any other form of relationships. Watching friend dynamics, watching how people cope with stress. Like how my boss will cope with stress and stuff, or how this person handles a little bit of hardship. There's things that anger me, like in a back room. I don't know if anyone's ever worked in a back room before, but like when trucks are coming in and dropping shit, they don't give a flying Christmas kringle where things get dropped. They want it off their truck so they can fucking leave. And people are usually cowards inside the, at least in our store, when it comes to where they put things. Oh, okay, you just put it there. And someone has to come back like, no, fucking you put this here, you put that, like don't just drop your shit, you take it then. If you're gonna act like that, put it back in your fucking truck and leave. Like, no one's doing that back there and whoosh, keeping them in line. Or they'll bring stuff in, they're like, yeah, we just brought some extra things in, because they want to drop it, they want to get rid of it. And the people will just accept it, like, okay, well, we're not authorized, we'll accept, like, no. Tell them to fuck off and take it back. That's not your problem. There's these little things like that, right? And I deal with people that are cowards about it, and sometimes I have to go back there and I'm like, God fucking damn it. And be the one to tell people, go here, you do this, throw that in here. Okay, you do that. Get the fuck out of the way, put that there. Like, it gets me irritated how incompetent people are. I hate being the competent one, because I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, because then I have to commit to this job more. Stop it. You're making me have to do this. You're making me too good at this. It's this weird dynamic that I've gained from this job that I despise. Can't remember the last time I woke up to go there, because I wake up every morning at 4 a.m. I can't remember the last time I woke up and was like, all right, let's get cleaned up, let's get ready for work. Like, no, fuck that. Oh, God, I gotta do it tomorrow. I'm fucking already irritated about it. But waking up to do this job, my typewriter and working on my stuff, I wake up tired. I'm tired. I don't know if I've ever woken up rested. And sit down, have a little snacky, have a little coffee, depends, hang out with the kiddos, and then come in here and then get working. I love it. It's actually not bad. This is not bad at all. It's like, it can be stressful. You know, it's like, well, how are you gonna do the next chapter? Like, I don't know. Like, it can be, yeah, that can be a little stressful, but not that bad. It's the job that I've always wanted. I didn't realize I did. But I can't really have it right now. I gotta commit to the faggy job at the grocery store, you know. What it feels like is I myself and the educational system didn't let me go to the full potential. I'm supposed to be a person that I'm not. The person that I should be, based on my job and based on my station in life, is a guy that just like, yeah, I go home and watch the Lions and I watch the Tigers, I'm fucking into it, you know. I might try to like encourage people to go to the bar with me and like we can just hang out because I'm really depressed and sad and like that's the one thing I have. Maybe I go golfing, you know, like something like that where I just like, this all makes me happy, you know. And I have a dumb little hobby at home. I go to work, I identify with the work. My grocery department is my department. Everything in that matters. I take it very fucking seriously and I stand by my work. And when a big wig comes down and complains, I'm taking it personal. I bring that home with me. I get like, oh God, how can I be better at that grocery store and all that shit. And I buy a new truck because I finally got enough money and I deserve that new truck. I deserve it. I get that house I need to get. I have the children and all that. Like, by all rights, that's who I should be. But I saw all that stuff happening around me at my work with all these other people. I started there back in 2010. And there's still people that are working there from that era. And I just watch them do all that. And I'm like, that's not what I want. That's odd. And I'm sitting over here like, man, I want to be a writer. I want to be a musician. I want to fucking... I have like shit I want to learn. Like I'm trying to get biblical on stuff about, you know, our world. I'm also trying to learn about our own history and I'm very curious about like certain elements of philosophy and stuff. Like I don't got time to fuck around with that like low frequency shit. Someone comes in like, did you hear the CEO's coming in? I swear to God, people walk up to me and tell me that work there. CEO's, he's here. And I'll just be like, okay, what do you want me to do about that? Is your department, does it look good? I don't know. Hopefully. I'm not fucking around with that. Like I don't got time. I got things to think about. Instead of like leveling your department, what are you doing? I'm thinking about sex concepts. No, but I really am thinking about, totally different things. My mind's like, what would Eris do if he was here? Like, what about Nahum? Like, what about that chapter with Nahum? Like, I got way more important things to do than fuck around with this job. But you're a manager. Okay, well, that's your fault. You made me one. I didn't want to be one, but you made me, like, you got to be a manager. COVID happened because our manager walked out, and now you are. Like, I didn't want this. I just guiltily took the job. You know, like, this is what you got into. I call in a lot. you know who I am. It's affected me just watching these people and how sad and desperate they are. And how much they try to make matter something that doesn't. Because the reality of the situation for me is, let me ask you this, the person watching this, but unless you know me, I guess you would say I do, but if you've ever heard of Tecumseh, the city inside of Michigan, and a grocery chain that's in a few other places in Michigan called Bush's. If you've ever heard of that outside of Michigan, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. But that's where I work. If you as a customer walk in and go, You know, these boxes aren't, they're not really symmetrical on the shelf. Like, they need to be flush, like the edge of the shelf. Everything kind of needs to sit like this. We don't want any waviness going on. Also, could you make sure that those end caps, they're looking a little bit anemic? Can you kind of put more things on that make it look nice? Because the impulse buys. Those floors in that area, not 100% clean. Get down there and you can clean it. Can you make these displays pop a little bit more? That section over there is a little barren. What can we do about that? You calling other stores? You gonna kind of figure out how to make that a little more fluff to it? Are you going into someone else's department and helping them? They need help over there. That back room doesn't look as clean as it should be. I know that's the receiver's job, but can you get back there? Can you take care of it? I know that other departments put their shit in the back room and it's in your area. Can you take care of that? And also maintain that floor machine, please. It needs to be, like, we just got it. That cost us like 15 grand. Can you please maintain that better? Also, can you make sure that you're very friendly with guests and stuff like that? We're noticing you're not wearing your name tag. Please put your name tag on. You know, like, you deal with that shit and you're just like, none of this matters to me. This is weird. Like, do you care about that shit? When you go grocery shopping? Excuse me, yeah, I was just wondering, that man over there's not wearing his name tag. I want to know his name. I need to know his name. He owes me his name. I need to compliment him. You know, like, weird shit. Who gives a fuck when you're shopping what the condition the store looks like? When I go shopping at Walmart, I'll see 4 doors in a row in the freezer section empty. I don't go like, yeah, hi, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't care. It's like, whatever. Who cares? I guess I don't need it, do I? If it's not there. I'll get it next time. Then we can go into the whole boomer generation thing. We're not gonna. That's not what we're here for. Because that's the fucking people that complain the most. My life was easiest. It needs to maintain ease. Like, no, stop. Sometimes life's difficult. It's okay. We won't go into that direction. My point being, with all that's been said, those things, that's what I deal with on a daily, right? Not like it's, oh, no one knows my struggle. I'm not trying to say it in that way. I'm just painting a picture to show you how all those things have shaped me. Instead of jumping into that lifestyle of, like, being a little nobody nothing, a little ant worker that's like, you wag your finger and they're like, yes, master, and they'll get to work. It kind of made me go the opposite way, and like, I don't want this. I want to strive to be an intellectual. I know that I'm lacking in that because of my schooling. And because of my station in life made me think, well, there's no point trying because I'm just a poor kid anyway. So I was like that, and I thought I was going to go down with these people. But I was like, no, I don't have to. I can kind of come over here. And though I'm trying to ascend the stairway, I've ingrained in my mind this perpetuating I'm not good enough because of the way it was when I was young. And so I kind of have that struggle going. You know, some people on higher edge society, they ascend the stairs, their own hardships are there, but at least they have the base minimum of, like, I was given an education because that's what you deserve in this world. You deserve a good education. And they have, I didn't have that, right? So I'm coming at it from a poor kid's perspective. Like, if I made money, I'd be new money. Like, ugh, he doesn't even know how to do it right. You know, weird shit like that. But I'm striving to do more. Besides young kids that just got out of school, how many adults my age are trying to write their own novel that are considered the working class guy? You know, you don't go to a construction site, see a bunch of dudes and stuff and think like, man, one of them is a writer. You never know, but like, not a lot of them are doing that. They're just like, yeah, good money. I make good money here, you know, I got alimony. Or whatever. That's a stereotype. But it's true sometimes. But there's not a lot of people. Like, when I talk about my book, which I've been slowly doing at work, I don't care what education these people got. Some of them are college dropouts, some of them got degrees, but they're like medical science degrees or psychology, but you're a grocery store manager. That's weird. Because you're broken. But they have all this stuff, and the minute I start talking about, like, oh yeah, I go home, I write, and I'm writing, like, you know, these, like, you know, I talk the way I do in these videos. And they just give me these looks. Like, huh. Write a book? That's weird. Yeah, okay. What's it about? And like, it's like, you know, it's like a mythology. It's the idea of kind of building someone up, and, you know, blah blah blah. And I go on about it. That's cool, I guess. Kind of thing. Do you like playing cards? Like, no, I don't like playing cards. I don't know how to play cards. It is interesting doing that, and it kind of makes me feel better. The only issue I have in my mind is I need to get on a better rung of society. These people around me aren't challenging me to be better. When you go into your own playing field, you get challenged. For instance, playing music by yourself in your room is one thing. Going and playing shows with other bands is a totally different thing. Those other bands are going to be better than you. And it's going to make you want to be better. And it's going to challenge you in ways. And so you look at your, like, am I good enough to be challenged, have my art challenged by more art? Fuck yeah, I am. And you get back to work. I don't really have that. Like this challenging, I got my books and all that, I'm like, yeah, this is great. But then there's no, like, I get into the literati world and I'm talking to other authors and shit, and they're like already published. Or their, you know, works being, you know, this is being done to it or that's being done to it. And I'm like getting jelly about it, and I'm just like, fucking, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be like them because if their work's published, I don't think it's that great. I'm gonna fucking, you know, I don't have that. That's the only downside of my life right now is like I need to be, what's the word I'm thinking of? Pushed from other artists. Yeah. That's what I need. That's what I really fucking need. It's crazy, man. It really is. I'm going about it in my own way. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to get to that level. It's just, you know, you don't have the roadmap in your head. How the fuck do you know which road to take? You know, I'm in Mississippi and I got a map from Michigan. Like, I'm gonna get lost. You know. Besides all that, throw that away. Today will be Book 2 Day. And we will continue our journey into the world of Yuandra. Why did you name your planet very similar to your name? I don't know. I wasn't as creative when I first thought of it. You literally put a U in front of it. You put your name and then put an A at the end because everyone called you that when you were young. Andra. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I even had a really interesting intro to my channel thinking about that. You know, like, oh, I can do that. People think it's pretty tight. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I will. I just think maybe I will get to the next level eventually. As for right now, what's that modern saying? You just kind of put your head down, you work. But kind of, yeah. Kind of need to do that. Kind of got to work at this. And I talked about the last video, my structure and how I do this. You know, I was like, yeah, you just jump in real quick, and you don't need to zoom too much. You know, I'm just gonna give you one paragraph of the prologue. If I could influence that, if I could influence that idea, then perhaps it could come again. Though he knew what that meant, he would have to bypass the guardians who watched the door intently, those wicked beings that watched his every move. The animus of man in the realm of the gods, those husks of thoughts and ideas given the essence of a man so they may tread in the world of the gods, those bodies that rebelled so very long ago, all because of that man, Quinlan. Those named Niran, as they call themselves. It's not really that detailed. It's just like, get the basics out. Let's just get the basics out. And then we can go in there and just maybe divulge a little bit more what I'm talking about in that realm. Maybe divulge a little bit more when it comes to what was I talking about exactly? Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just figure out the little things. Start small. You gotta draw up the fucking plans before you start building the damn house, right? That's been done. Then I did secondary plans. Now this is like, let's get the foundation laid. Let's lay that pavement, motherfucker. And that's not just pouring cement. What's underneath all that ground there? You know, just things like that. It's been a tough journey, and it's a big old learning curve, and man, has it been a whole ass thing. I'm going it alone, you know. It's not like down the road I got like this other published author who's like, oh, I got you know, like I can teach you, but I have to charge. I don't have that. I got nothing. Like Kevin and Billy they've written way less than I have. So like if I go to them for advice, they can only give me like, I don't know, like maybe do this. You know what I mean? Like I don't have the challenged device of you know, a better, you know, person to help me out. Give me some direction. Did we run out of steam? I think we finally did. Okay. Yeah, we should probably save the rest of this for the book, because I don't want to use up all my energy here. Yeah, we probably should be quiet, because it's about 20%, I'd say. Well, I'll continue on. What do they say that I fucking hate? Keep plugging away at her. Just keep plugging away. All you gotta do is keep plugging away at it, you know, and then put your head down and work. Go to work. And that's what I'll do. And we'll give you more updates. Yeah, what about that Paradise Lost series? I know. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. You just keep re-listening to that first video. How about that? How about you just keep doing that? That way you really got it down before we jump into the second one. That way you'll know more than me. Anyway, we will jump into this book here. Let's get it ready. Oh my gosh, what is gonna happen? It's kind of cool, right? It's like, what's gonna happen next? Even I don't fucking know. Like, where are they gonna go? What's gonna happen? I don't know. You know, it is kind of cool sometimes.